is going to be your interview call. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, good. That is good. Thank you, first of all. Sorry for the last minute update. I thought HR is already informed you. That's fine. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, can you please brief me about yourself?
I'm having about 5 years of experience in IT industry. So my first company was First American Financial Corporation. Now I am working for Cognizant. Total I have worked for 4 projects. One is a starter, another one is a expanded plant record. Now after coming to Cognizant, I'm working for United Health Group and also Guardian Life Insurance Company. Both are the life insurance companies only. Previous work projects are related to real estate.
Okay.
So the procedure which I followed for previous projects are Enterprise Edition, which was used for 6.2, 5.6, and now we are using for Open Studio for big data, which is 7.2 version. And can I go to in brief more? Or?
Yeah, please explain me about your projects and tell me more like whatever you have done using Talend ETL tool.
Yeah, presently we are using for open source tools which we are getting from using AWS S3 to get the file, and we are transformation supplies. Then we are moving this file to the S3 boot file based on the server, and we want to see the connections of whether the file is we need to see the file text. For that we have Amazon S3 web server are there. So mostly for Enterprise Edition we have direct components, but we don't have any for open source. It is difficult to we need to get around to. So what we did is we have done one of the POC, which was when the job is scheduling, if it is something went wrong. So if it is a large amount of data getting, and if something went wrong, then it needs to be start from first itself, open source. We don't have any other option. When it comes to Enterprise Edition, we have directly option called error recovery management. Through tag, if we enable the option, then whatever the job it ends from there itself, it will start. For open source, it is not easy. So we don't have anything. So we have done one of the POCs called.
Okay. In enterprise version, how would you do this? Can you come again?
Directly we have option called in the basic settings error recovery management. We need to click that option.
In which
the job fails, directly for the job itself. In the enterprise job itself, basic settings, when you go, we have error recovery management option with that we need to click that whenever the job fails for the same amount of but once is we for the error what went wrong.
Wherever the job got failed, when you trigger next time, from there it will get started instead of getting started from the beginning. Okay, I understand.
Yes.
So how would you implement this in Open Studio? Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I will tell you short. For example, make it as on subjob on subjob flow like A, B, C, something like it working on. For example, if the job failed at B, then it should start from B only, right? So what we did is for the A, before that, we have taken as active flag as Y. After completion of the job, after completion of first job flow, then we will active flag as another column as end as N. For the same second flow also, Y, N. For the third record also, Y, N. So the job starts from Y. If it went everything correct, then it should be triggered as N. So it will update in database as N. That means it succeeded. Then next flow it will go. From Y it will start. The second flow will go, something it went wrong. Then it will not update as N. It will be update as Y only. It will not update. It will be as Y only. Then we can understand the job is flowed, something went wrong in this flow. After correcting this after seeing the log catcher, what the error went wrong, after correcting it, then we will run the job. From the second job flow only, it will go then Y to N. From the third flow, Y to N. So after completion of all the process, at the end, we will change it as N to Y, because it should start again the job with Y only, right? So that is the process we follow.
Okay.
So it is implemented in other jobs also.
Okay. Okay. And what are the major issues you have faced in in your talent environment, and how did you?
Apart from this, I faced one of the major issue is, for example, when we have names like foreign names like O-brain, something like O hyphen symbol, brain will be there, right? And names. So when we are trying to insert the data, while trying to insert the data, it is inserting like O as one column, brain as one column.
Why? What is the reason? Because it has the delimiter in it, is it?
Yeah. That hyphen is separating with two names. So that is the problem. So what we did is, using T replace list file, regular expression functions will be right to ignore that hyphen O brain, as it will read as O brain only.
Okay.
Then later, when we are trying to update the same data into the table, but it is not allowing. So what we did is, after doing more analysis, we added for that hyphen, we added single quote, we added double quotes.
Okay, good.
O single quote brain, double quotes.
If we add double quotes, it will treat as one single
quote only.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, good.
that's how it works.
Good, that is a good point. Yeah.
Another thing
Please proceed. Very interesting, because these are the things which I have seen in my project as well. So continue to explain what were the different things which you have come across.
Another thing we find out is, when we are applying in TMAP filter conditions, right? Something we will filter out those conditions. If something employee name should be start with A only, then it should be those employee number should start with A, means it should not allow with other names, right? So what we did is, while processing this data, we minimized that one. That condition, whatever we put on the TMAP, we minimized that one. But when it goes into the data, it is not reflecting. Understand, right? I will say, for example.
Not exactly. Yeah, take example and explain.
For example, if a country having country column having India, Australia, China, Mumbai, like that, we are filtering with only country name which start with India only.
Okay.
Other than country, we should not get.
Okay.
We will write that filter condition in the TMAP, right?
Yeah.
That TMAP, what we did is, we minimized it.
Meaning? Minimized in the sense?
Minimize in the TMAP flow itself, we have option called enable. Once we write that expression, we minimize it, means only the below part columns will be, we can able to see. If you want to see also, we can elaborate that one. If it is, say before the system, I used to show that.
Okay, no issues.
That expression, that expression, when we minimize it, it will not work out. Whatever the data will come, it will go. Filter condition will not be applicable. It will not going to be work on that particular scenario. So
okay,
after doing
I
so
think
much,
you are telling like enabling and disabling the regular expression which you write in the TMAP. Okay.
In the TMAP filter condition, we have. If you click again, that is a filter condition, it will open. If you click
are you
again,
sure that if you minimize it, it will not work?
No, it will not work.
Are you sure? Have you tried it?
Yeah, you can try it.
Okay. Yeah, please.
That filter condition will not apply. After although filter condition is there, but it is not working properly. We have went through so many hours I put, then we elaborated it, then it is worked fine. So this is one more thing we find out, and there are a couple of things which I need to review the things.
Okay. I think you have worked on AMC, right?
Yeah.
AMC.
Yeah. When first American I was working, yeah.
What is AMC?
Activity Monitoring Council.
So how did you implement it? How was the configuration done? Can you explain a little bit more on that?
Then it was used for mostly last couple of 2 years back. When AMC control is usually for it is used for to see the logs only, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Something went wrong, errors, or to find out the job if anything went wrong, then we can find out those log errors.
Okay.
That's only.
Where does the information get stored?
Mm,
It's okay. Let me move
yeah,
on to
not
the next
available yet.
question.
Yeah,
So what is the use of
unable to
that
remember.
t-extract regex fields component?
Uh, Generating multiple columns from one column. For example, in the column itself, we have Hyderabad, Chennai, we have particular locations. We can split that without using comma. We can have a header as Chennai, Hyderabad. Like that, we can split.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying just example. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm, Just generating from one column.
Mm-hmm.
From one column, we'll generate from multiple columns.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, looks like you have also implemented the STD 1, 2, and 3. Can you tell
Yeah.
me what is type 1, type 2, type 3, and
Type
mm,
Type 1 is nothing but present data needs to be stored. It will only, for example, we have sales product of data. That particular sales of product or data will be there for today only. Now, tomorrow, that data only will be there for that particular data. So when it comes to CD2, then you have present data as well as history data will be also be stored. When you come to SCD, it is type 3, present data and the previous data, and I mean yesterday data, we can store it as. If also we can store it as the B before yesterday also we can store it as. So most of the companies will be going for SCD, I mean type 2. Why? Because the present data and previous data, I mean history data should be there. For example, when the company is getting growth, the previous data also needs to be stored. For example, today we got some amount of growth is increased because of so and so products were also sold. So at the last month, what was the product was sold, and before that year how it was sold. So for particular type of to get this data that will be helpful for the client very easily, and also for the for us also. SCD2 means first the process is first we need to get the maximum key from the target table by using numeric key. Anyhow, we'll get two outputs. We'll get look up into target table. So based on the key, we will join. If the key is null, it will go to insert. If the key is not null, there is a change. It will go to update. For the old record, current old record will change as current date, and active flag is N. If it shows active flag is N, then it is current data. If it is active flag Y, it is the previous data. So based on that, we can find out whether the data is updated for the it is new data or it is old data.
okay, good.
So
Enough. I got my answer. Okay. Can you tell me the functionality of t-add cr0 component?
T add CR0, correct me if I'm wrong, will generate surrogate key on one or more columns. For example, when we have multiple number of columns and we are generating on this based on taking on two columns, and two columns is same, it will generate as one, and if the columns is different, so based on the key and based on the column, it will generate as surrogate key 1, 2, 3, like that. Unique number will be generated for that columns.
Okay. All right. T-schema compliance check. What is that?
Yeah, when we are specially used for using files, especially this T compliance check, we need to use for files. Why? Because first whatever the data from files we are getting, we will take as a T compliance check, and first we will make it as all call data types as string. After passing this all the data into the, once it is flow comes to the T compliance check, there we will change the data type, whatever the client asked. If integer, employee name as should be string, and the employee ID should be as int. So the data type we will change. Custom data type we need to select for custom user defined data type. On that we will select the data type, and also if it should be have null or not null, and it should have a length. For example, length should be something he has the type XYZ up to 20 or 30 characters for the one column. I don't know. I mean, by mistakenly it has came, but we are restricting up to 125 characters, but it went to the 50 or 70 characters. But those amount of data we need to be rejected, those amount of data. So for that particular fields, whatever the correct records are getting, will flow to them, will send to the whatever the client asks for, whether it is a database or file we are storing, whatever, and the rejected record will send to the another file. The another rejected file will be sent to the client. These are so many records. This, and for that already used schema having error message will be generated, error code also will be generated. This error message what it will give, for example, in the integer column something has given as a string, so it will reject. It will show as error message as instead of integer, the person provided as string. The error message will be generated. Data type length, it should be 10 characters only, but 30 characters because of this it was failed. So for that particular type of scenario, it will be very useful. So we can send that rejected data, so he can correct on it, and he can send corrected data to us.
Okay. And what is the repository you are using in your project?
Presently, I'm using for this company using for a Git repository, because it is open source tool. When it comes to enterprise, we have directly access all this stuff. But when it comes to GitHub, we need to build this job, and the zip file need to be moved to the GitHub. And all the GitHub once we are building that job, especially these three files will be generated: .bat file, .sh file, .jar file. And also in the .sh file, when we are sending to another server which is having more amount of data, if it is there, means we need to run that job quickly. I mean, for performance issue, inside we have XMX initial parameters are there. Based on the RAM size we can increase, and we can send to it to the Git repository. And from the Git repository, if we have a Jenkins configuration, will be connected with the Git repository. There, Jenkins, we have dev UAT test. All these environments will be there to trigger the job. And also we are using as a open source as a TWS, Tivoli Work Scheduler, which is IBM tool to run all the jobs, which is the open source tool. And whenever we want, we can run that job based on the scheduler, and we can schedule it day or monthly or weekly.
Do you have any experience into Talend, Big Data or Cloud?
Talend, we are using for Talend Big Data open source only, but inside we are using wherever the requirement needs.
Okay, what are the big data technologies you have touched so far from Talend?
Big data components, data components. One, we have used the ELT component. We were used Snowflake to store the data.
Snowflake is cloud component.
Cloud only, sorry. I need to remind.
It's okay. If you do not have any experience into Talend Big Data, it's okay. We can
having, but where our requirement only, it depends upon the client, right? So,
Okay. So have you
your,
worked on HDFS, Hive, Cloudera, Kafka, HBase? Have you ever worked on these things?
no, sir.
No. Okay. And what about Talent Cloud? Do you have any experience into Microsoft Azure or Amazon AWS?
Yeah, presently we are using one migration project which we are using in AWS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So what are
mainly
the
we
different
started now
components you are
S3.
using? S3, what are the
Yeah,
different AWS components you are using?
S3, TS3 get TS3 boot, and there are some TS3 connection. From the connection, we have one more component. So in the AWS itself, we have two different type of database. To one, I'm unable to remind that component. So we are using 4 to 5 components as of now
Okay. Okay.
for the AWS related.
So in S3, let us assume there are totally 5 files,
Mm-hmm.
and 5 files are having date timestamp
Mm-hmm.
with the different values. Let's say ABCD today date and ABCD
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow date, ABCD day after tomorrow date. Likewise, there are total 4 different files.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do you do the incremental load based on the files which are there in S3?
All are different type of schema or same?
Same schema. The file structure is same. Only the date timestamp we have in each and every file, because
So
you
first
need to do the incremental load based upon that date only.
first we will get the using TS3 get it from, we will fetch all the files. Once all the files, we will iterate this using key file list. After using this key file list iterate in the file itself, file name starts with something, right? Then we use data masking those. It should start with this particular files only. We will iterate this amount of files. So after iterating all the files, anyhow it is having same schema, right? It will not give any error. So it will process further, and after the S3 get, we will move this on Cloudberry Explorer, which we can see the files all integrate together, and we'll get as a output as one file only.
How do you do the partition on the date? Because you need to pick only one file, which is sysdate -1 yesterday file.
So we are going to use only yesterday's data only.
Whenever the job runs, it always should pick yesterday file.
So on that particular date file only, we are going to send in the schema.
I do not want you to hard code the value. It should be parameterized, and it should run on daily basis dynamically.
Yeah, instead of hard coding that, present date means to get a date, we can get it directly.
Keep the
But
file
get a date minus
aside.
1.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah, we can adjust where get a date -1. So previous date should be matched with that file. Then only it will process further.
Okay. All right. Okay, Janaki, I think, okay, let me ask you a few questions in SQL. Are you good in writing SQL query?
Yeah.
What are the joins?
Yeah, inner join, left join, right join, cross joins.
What is cross join? Can you explain with
It is a
example?
Cartesian of it works like a Cartesian of a product. For example, 6 here that side also we have columns. Column table as a 6 into 6, so total 36 rows will get. It's like so. Mostly we will use we will not be using real time, which mostly we'll use for these joins only, right? Inner join, left join, right join.
Okay. Now the question: how can we perform right outer join in Talend?
Okay. First, main and the lookup will get by using tmap connection. By default, it is left outer join with unique match will be there. So we will get anyhow left outer join records will come. Right. In the below process, what we will do, we will exchange lookup as main as lookup. Then we will connect. It will give, although it is left outer join, but we exchanged main to lookup to main. That is the reason why it will get, we will output as right outer join result only. So after getting all the data, then we use T-unit component. So all the further data will come into T-united component. Then we can use T-unit. If we have something as a duplicate to remove, then we'll connect it to the destination file.
Okay, fine. Okay, and good. If you have any questions, you can ask me before we close the call.
Yeah. The question is, what are the technologies, we are going to use?
Talend Cloud and Big Data.
Yeah, that will be good.
Okay.
What are the
right.
client?
Client and everything HR.